girlies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a full tutorial on how I set my hair for the night. I'll show you how I put in my rollers in depth and why women for generations have been doing this hairstyle and why it's still stuck around. But first, let me show you what you need to complete this look. You will need foam rollers, water and setting lotion, a brush and a comb, and of course, if you have any hair nets or hair scarves at home that you can wrap your hair with at the end of the night. Alright guys, let's get started. If you have naturally curly hair, I do recommend brushing them out before you put your rollers in. So the first thing you're going to do when you start vintage hair is part your hair. So I start from my eyebrow and I just make a hard part going all the way up. For the back of my hair, I just part down the middle. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line, but just so you get an idea of what it looks like. My hair is pretty long. I do have a U-shaped haircut. They call it the horseshoe cut. What I do for my hair is I start with 3 sections. So I'll have a section of rollers going down the back, the side, and the front. So 1, 2, 3. This first piece of hair back here, and I'll roll this hair just kind of out of the way. And I'll tie it in with this one. So you're gonna look a little silly here and there. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to brush it out the next day. Now I just filled my water up and I'm going to add some setting lotion to it. I honestly don't read the directions, but I just get enough in there to where I feel like it will do its job. I'm going to section off the first piece of hair that I'm going to do. I'm gonna brush it just to make sure it is smooth and tangle free, especially since we're gonna be brushing it out tomorrow. I'm going to spray it, not enough to make it soaking wet, but just damp. Add a little bit more in some places. So now what you're gonna do is grab your roller and you're gonna put it under your hair. You're not gonna put your hair like over it. You're gonna put it under the hair at the very bottom, wrap your hair around, and start twisting inward towards your head. And this is gonna create that vintage S-wave. And you'll just clip it right when you get to the top. Now, if you were to curl upwards, I feel like that's more of like a 60s, 70s versus like that pretty, sexy S-wave from the 1950s. Get your hair a little wet. Get all the way to the bottom with the hair on top of the roller and start twisting up towards your head. Clip once you're at the top. If you're brand new to this, it can be a little bit frustrating, especially at first, but with more practice, I swear, you'll just be like, now let's get into a little bit of history about hair rollers and setting your hair.
For most of history, curling hair wasn't about trends or styling tools. It was about shaping hair in a way that worked with daily life. Long before salons or electric tools, women learned how to curl their hair using time, tension, and patience. In the 1800s, women curled their hair using simple materials, rags, strips of fabric, and paper. Hair was wrapped while damp and left to dry slowly, often overnight. This method worked because hair naturally holds the shape it dries in. These techniques required no heat, no special equipment. They were quiet, repeatable, and done at home. Heat styling did exist, but it was unpredictable and dangerous. Curling irons were solid metal and heated over stoves or open flames. Without temperature control, hair could burn easily and scalp injuries were common. So for the everyday woman, heat simply wasn't practical. By the early 1900s, hair curling became more structured. Cylindrical rollers began replacing rags and paper. These early rollers allowed hair to dry evenly and predictably, creating uniform curls, and by the 1910s and 1920s, roller setting was widely used at home and in salons. While salons experimented with permanent waves and heated machines, most women continued to rely on rollers. They were affordable, comfortable, and reliable. By the 1930s and 1940s, roller setting became the standard method for curling hair. Hair was washed, rolled while damp, and allowed to dry naturally, often overnight. By the 1950s, hair rolling reached its peak, not because it wasn't just fashionable, but because it worked. Roller sets create soft, structured waves that could be brushed, reshaped, and worn for days. This allowed women to look polished without daily styling. Mothers, working women, and women at home all relied on this same method. The glamour of the 1950s waves came from balance. The hair was controlled but not rigid, styled but not severe. Roller sets allowed curls to blend together when brushed, creating soft movement and a clean silhouette. The style photographed well, held its shape, and looked finished from every angle, while still being wearable. Even as technology has advanced, hair rolling has never disappeared. Curling irons became safer, blow dryers become faster, but roller setting remained relevant because it relied on time instead of heat. It's gentle, repeatable, and adaptable. From the 1800s to today, hair rolling has lasted for one reason. It fit the way people lived, and it still does. I mean, seriously, I'm a mom of 5. When I curl my hair at night and I wake up in the morning, I'm able to just take them out, brush my hair out, and be on the go. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like to use heat tools now and then, but that does take time, so this is more practical for me. I will say I was super uncomfortable the first night I slept with foam rollers in my hair, but honestly, there's so many options out there now. They make pillow rollers. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of cozy curlers. Those are so much easier to sleep in, but this is the finished look. I will show you the back. I'm also going to make a video of me doing a full brush out. Do not forget to put a hairnet on before you go to bed just to keep those rollers intact. I sped this up because I take forever to tie a bow. I don't know why. Let me know in the comments if you have any more video ideas for me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you could, please like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.